What's good, guys? So CG have released a new character and they've given us a new Mandalorian tag. So we're going to be looking over that on this video and trying to theory craft some ideas where we could potentially use the armorer. So let's get on with this video, guys. Let's do this. So one of the things that we've been asking for since pretty much day one on my channel has finally been added to the game, the Mandalorian tag. We already had a decent selection of characters that were Mandalorians or at least followed their creed, and it's something that I've wanted for a very, very long time. I'm a big fan of the Mandalorian faction in the old lore, which is what now the extended, legends, isn't it, or whatever the heck they call it. But basically stuff like, you know, Canderous Ordo becoming Mandalore and things like that, and then the Mandalorian Wars always been an interesting aspect of Star Wars to me. It was something that wasn't lightsaber based, but it was still very, very interesting. The ones they've initially added to it are Mando himself, as well as the Beskar armor variation of him, Jango Fett, Sabine Wren, Gar Saxon, Imperial Super Commando, and Canderous Ordo. So that's pretty sweet, although unless they're going to tweak some of their kits to have some sort of like Mandalorian tag interactions, then at the moment we're quite limited. Admittedly, the armorer is coming to the game later today, in fact, and I know she is supposed to have some sort of interaction with them. I haven't actually looked at the kit. I tend to look at the kits live on the videos, so I read through the kits and try and theory craft on the spot. But initially, I'm quite excited about this Mandalorian tag at least being in the game. I mean, that's something I've been waiting for such a long time. And there's characters here that never really had a great use, and we know Jango works great with the bounty hunters. You can stick him in a General Grievous team. Canderous Ordo's always been a little bit iffy, really. I mean, he's had that interaction with Deathmark, Marked, and one of the other things that I forget. Is it Fear? Maybe, I can't remember his kit exactly, but he never really fit in either of the Revan's squads. He doesn't really do, you know, he brings a little bit of damage to the Carthanasi team, but what is that team really? I mean, it can be soloed by a couple of squads, so it's really not, his place has never really been there. And then, well, I mean, Gar Saxon and Imperial Super Commando, they've never had a spot anywhere. I remember when I had my test account, I spent so long trying to really develop a good use for them, but there was always just a better character that could do the same job. So I'm pretty excited to see them be included in this, and very, very hopeful that there'll be a team that features them. And Sabine Wren's always been the odd one out when it comes to Phoenix Squad, really. Unless you really needed Ezra elsewhere, she never really had a spot in that team. So let's have a look at the armorer's kit, and hopefully it's going to be everything that we've always wanted for the Mandalorians. I'm not going to bother looking at a developer insight. Most of the time, what they're intending the character to be isn't the case anyway, and then they end up having to nerf it into what they want it to be, or boost it into what they want it to be. So what's that? Clad your strongest characters in Beskar armor, earn your signets, create powerful Beskar armor for your team. The more you use, the better the armor. Rally Mandalorians. Okay, yes, she does do something with them. And Beskar clad allies while shredding the armor from enemies. Oh, nice. I like it. What are they suggesting then? So Beskar, Sabine, Rey, Jedi Master Luke, and Wat Tambor. So, is she gonna be one of those plug and play characters with the usual types? I mean, I wouldn't mind a new like Swiss Army knife like Thrawn, for example, and Wat Tambor for squads in Arena, but I'm hoping she doesn't just become, you know, a side piece to one of those. I would like to see her have a valid faction use. Right, so basic, where are we at? Deal physical damage to the target enemy twice. If the enemy has armor shred, the armor gains a stack of her Beskar ingots. Okay, alright, and she can get 3 stacks at max, so that's fine. I assume she gains that if we call her to assist as well. It doesn't say that, you know, that it has to be on her turn or anything, so that's another way to get that up a little bit quicker. Right, special number 1. This is a Zeta, earn your signet. The armor loses all stacks of Beskar ingot and grants target other ally a tier of the armor equal to the number of stacks that are being removed until the end of the encounter. So that's like a permanent thing. This can't be copied, dispelled, or prevented. That's nice to see. The ability can't be used if you have no stacks. Well, that makes sense. Otherwise, people are going to accidentally use it, or the AI is going to use it stupidly. Right, one stack is going to give you 50% defense and 15% health up. A second stack will recover 30% protection at the end of their turn. I assume that gives the bonuses of the previous stack as well, which is pretty bloody nasty on a tank. And the third stack gives 100% counter chance, and they can't be critically hit. I can already see exactly why they're suggesting pairing with Wat Tambor and Jedi Master Luke. Already see that here, because what also with the tank buff, I forget the actual name of the buff, but the tank one, that also gives, is it 20 or 30? I think it's 30% protection as well. So, I mean, you're talking 60% protection, potentially with the defense and health up. That is pretty crazy. That is pretty crazy. You wouldn't necessarily need this either on some of the tanks. Wow, yeah, I can see her immediately being plugged into those Jedi Master Luke squads that have like Wat Tambor, Gas, and Jedi Revan, because also the Revan Master Luke is regaining protection with each counter. So yeah, I'm thinking you potentially could give him the third stack. I know counters anyway, but I can't remember the counter chance. So you may benefit from the third stack as well. I don't have Luke yet, so I can only really go by what I see when I fight him, because I don't tend to analyze the kits too much of characters I don't have. But yeah, I mean, I'm in theory any tank would work here. Zalba comes to mind. You can't critically hit him, that's pretty nasty. And he also constantly keeps regaining protection, it's very annoying. L3 is another one of those really annoying tanks. General Kenobi is an obvious standout. Especially if you have him modded for protection over health, and he has just so much protection, and he's constantly recovering that on top of bonus protection. Wow, yeah, there's a lot of uses with a lot of tanks in here. You could even stick them. It doesn't say light side allies. So you could even stick them with Supreme Leader Kylo Ren, who can be a real pain in the butt to whittle down in that health, especially while you're trying to do that, and he's gaining it, and he's gaining his additional strength and just becoming a bigger and bigger threat. I don't see this protecting Jedi Master Luke from the Kylo team that I run, because, well, Kylo's wiped everybody out really, really quickly, and he just charges up and kills Luke anyway. But I do see it being a problem for a lot of other squads that don't have that, that benefit of a stacking offensive character. Let's have a look at this next special anyway. I'm curious how else this affects the Mandalorian faction, because I don't, off the top of my head, I can't think of a great tank that's Mando based. I don't think Beskar Mando's a tank, although I've not massively looked at him. This is the way. It says inflict armor shred on target enemy until the end of the battle. Call all Mando allies and allies with Beskar armor to assist, dealing 10% less damage. I mean, that could be pretty nasty, especially if you've already got armor shred along the team, in the likes of Sabine Wren that does this. I'm sure her basic is like a 2 or 3 hit, depending on certain aspects of the battle at the time. And then Django's a double tap if they're debuffed, I think it is. Boba doesn't have it, but you could Beskar armor him, and then he also double taps. So you're looking at an awful lot of attacks in that. Leadership, this will be interesting. At the start of the battle, Mandalorian allies gain 200% protection up. What's her like Bastila then? Which can't be dispelled or prevented, and critical hit immunity for 2 turns. Okay, so is the protection up for 2 turns, or until you've worn it down like Bastila's? I'm not sure if the protection up is 2 turns, or if that's just the crit hit immunity aspect of it. I can't really tell by the way there's no full stop in the sentence, so I'm assuming the protection up is 2 turns, because they haven't actually ended the sentence after that. I have thought we'd have a full stop here, and then also gain critical hit immunity for 2 turns if they were separate. I know, sometimes these kits are just really difficult to read. Anyway, let's have a look at the unique. The first time another ally falls below 60% health, the armor gains a stack of the Beskar armor stuff that she can put onto you, and that ally recovers 40% protection. The armor also starts with 2 stacks, so you've only... Okay, so if the team is fast and swarm one of your characters, which is quite likely, then you're immediately going to have 3 stacks to go for when it's her turn, unless she's got really high base speed, but I highly doubt she's going to go off ahead of a lot of the teams that are going to be attacking her. So, I mean, 40% protection, recovery, it's basically going to prevent somebody dying unless they're swarmed by the likes of Hux's special, or attacked by a galactic legend. But yeah, interesting little kit here. I see her being more of a utility character within top teams than necessarily a Mandalorian leader. For an early account, I can easily see her being a great Mandalorian leader. This would be a real headache to fight, especially when they've got that really cheap pack where you can get like Mando and a bunch of his allies. You get like a lot of shards for very, very cheap. It's a great pack. I wish it was available to everybody. I don't know why it's not. I'm sure that's like free money. I would buy that pack. Yeah, I mean, Boba's quite easy to come across early game. So you could quite easily build a fun squad there. I don't know how it's going to do against top tier early teams, though. I'm not sure how it's going to do against like a Jedi Revan team, which all the hyperdrive people will get early. I don't know how it's going to do against, say, maybe... That's my dog shaking her ears in the background. Thank you, Pixie. Against maybe the Padme teams that are going to appear quite quickly, that, you know, the people that are farming correctly early game. I see this getting through the likes of Geonosians, though, which is nice. That's a very early team thing. Yeah, interesting. I'm very, very excited for this. She arrives in a few hours, so we'll see. I've actually got a bunch of people in like a small little test group that are likely to wail on her early, so hopefully I can bounce some ideas off of them. They've already been talking. One of my buddies, Michael's actually been discussing some of his ideas, though at the time I hadn't seen the kit, so I wasn't 100% sure. But one of his ideas could be disgusting. It could be a loop, in fact. Very excited to see that. We'll try and get him to test that, and we'll approach this in another video after a release, I think. So let me know what you think. What ideas have you got? My brain is like constantly running right now. I'm very, very excited for the ideas, and I hope CG don't go ahead and nerf her too quickly once the smart players have started to discover things. That's exactly what happened with Hux, and it tends to happen whenever we have one of these plug and play characters that make metas and teams just a little bit more refreshing. We'll see. Let me know what you guys think. Please like and subscribe. And yeah, check me out later today. I'm going to be streaming Grand Arena 3v3. You know, I hate 3v3, but we're back with all our live streams. Catch you later, guys. Till next time, we out of here.